10 Everyday Things from 1950s. Britain You'll Never See Again. Step back in time to a Britain where post-war resilience met daily rituals full of charm and character. Though many of these items are now museum pieces or fond memories shared by grandparents, they once defined everyday life. In this nostalgic journey, we uncover 10 everyday things from 1950s. Britain You'll Never See Again. Each one a faded echo of a Britain that feels both distant and endearing. 10. The ration book, coupons that ruled the kitchen. Even after the Second World War ended, rationing continued well into the 1950s. The humble ration book was a government-issued lifeline for millions of British families. Stamped with names and filled with coupons, it controlled what and how much you could buy, from sugar and butter to meat and jam. You didn't just walk into a shop and fill a trolley. Instead, you queued patiently with your ration book in hand. Housewives became culinary magicians, stretching limited ingredients into hearty meals. Spam fritters, powdered eggs, and carrot cakes sweetened with honey were all wartime carryovers that lingered into the early 50s. By 1954, rationing had finally come to an end, but the ration book remains one of the most symbolic everyday things from 1950s Britain you'll never see again, unless you stumble upon one in a family attic or museum. 9. The coal scuttle and hearthside life. Central heating was a luxury beyond the reach of many families. Instead, the home's warmth came from a single coal fire, usually in the front room. Beside it sat the coal scuttle, a curved metal container filled each day with dusty lumps of coal. Lighting the fire was a daily ritual. Children were sent to fetch coal from the outside bunker, while parents carefully stoked the flames. Ashes were swept, kettles were boiled right on the hearth, and stockings dried on a wooden clothes horse nearby. It wasn't convenient or clean, but it was cozy. The smell of coal smoke drifting from chimneys was part of the national scent. Today, the coal scuttle is gone from British homes, along with the chilly bedrooms and cracked hot water bottles. 8. The backyard loo, Britain's coldest commute. Indoor plumbing didn't reach every home by the 1950s. Many British houses still relied on outdoor toilets, tiny brick structures at the bottom of the garden, especially common in terraced streets and rural communities. Armed with a coat, torch, and bravery, nighttime trips to the loo were chilly adventures. The toilet paper, often old newspaper, or the iconic pink easel paper, which had the softness of sandpaper and the absorbency of a roof tile. For children, it was the stuff of nightmares. For parents, just part of life. As the post-war years progressed, indoor bathrooms became standard. But for anyone who remembers the outdoor loo, it's one of those everyday things from 1950s Britain you'll never see again and probably won't miss. 7. Huddling around the wireless. Before color TV, streaming, or smartphones, the wireless was the family's entertainment center. These weren't pocket-sized gadgets. They were polished wooden cabinets with glowing dials and large knobs, taking pride of place in the living room. Families would gather in silence to listen to the BBC, whether it was the thrilling drama of Dick Barton, the hilarity of The Goon Show, or the gentle updates from Mrs. Dale's diary. The wireless connected households across the country in a shared experience. When television finally took hold in the late 1950s, the wireless began its slow fade into the background. Today, it lives on in vintage collections and black and white films. 6. Trolleybuses and the ticket conductor. For many towns across Britain, trolleybuses were a symbol of modern public transport. Powered by overhead electric wires, they glided silently through the streets. No exhaust, no engine roar, just the gentle hum of progress. These sleek vehicles came with conductors who collected fares, clipped tickets, and kept order. With their neat uniforms and leather satchels, they were as much a part of the journey as the ride itself. By the 1960s, diesel buses had taken over. The trolleybus vanished, Wires came down, and the clink of the conductor's ticket punch disappeared forever. 5. The milkman's horse and clinking bottles. Early mornings in 1950s, Britain began with a familiar sound, the clink of glass milk bottles and the gentle clip-clop of a horse-drawn cart. Milkmen were cherished figures, delivering fresh milk, cream, and sometimes bread right to the doorstep. You'd leave out a note with coins or tokens, and by morning, fresh bottles, often with thick cream settling at the top, would be waiting. Sometimes robins or sparrows would peck through the foil caps for a cheeky sip. By the 1980s, horse-drawn delivery had been replaced by electric milk floats and eventually by supermarkets. The milkman with his horse is now a charming ghost of morning routines past. 4. The Monday Mangle. Wash Day Rituals. Wash Day Monday was serious business in the 1950s. Long before the spin cycle, housewives tackled mountains of laundry with elbow grease and determination. Water was heated on the stove, clothes were scrubbed on a washboard, and then came the mangle. This heavy-duty tool squeezed water from the clothes using two solid rollers turned by a hand crank. Kids were warned to keep their fingers away. Once mangled, everything was pegged onto long washing lines, fluttering in the breeze like homemade bunting. The automatic washing machine changed everything, and with it, the weekly ritual disappeared. The mangle now sits as a nostalgic relic in country homes and museums. 3. A tin of steak and kidney pudding. Convenience food in the 1950s wasn't microwavable, but it did come in a tin. Tinned steak and kidney puddings, baked beans, and Spam were staples of the British pantry. Meals were hearty, filling, and often steamed for hours. The steak and kidney pudding was wrapped in sweet pastry, often tinned by brands like Frey Bentos. When time was tight, popping the tin into boiling water offered a satisfying supper. Today's ready meals look very different. The idea of eating a steamed meat pudding from a can might turn heads now, but it once brought joy to many a kitchen table. 2. Street games and chalk lines. Kids in the 1950s didn't need screens to have fun. The street was their playground, and games were simple, inventive, and energetic. Hopscotch, skipping, conkers, marbles, two-ball, and British bulldog were just a few. Children played until dusk, wearing clothes that could take a tumble. They made up rhymes, chalked out courts, and played with whatever they had, often an old ball or homemade toy. Today's streets are quieter and digital entertainment reigns. While organized sports still exist, the spontaneous neighborly joy of street games is one of the 10 everyday things from 1950s Britain you'll never see again. 1. The ice cream cart and the handbell. Before the musical chimes of modern vans, the 1950s ice cream man arrived on foot or by tricycle, pushing a wooden cart and ringing a bell. That bell was a magnet for children who scrambled to find a penny for a vanilla cone or a scoop topped with raspberry sauce. These carts were often decorated in pastel colors, with the ice cream kept cold by blocks of dry ice. The experience was personal, local, and unforgettable. Watching the foggy mist swirl from the cart's interior added a little magic to every scoop. Today's artisan ice creams and freezer aisles can't quite match the wonder of that simple moment in the sun. These 10 everyday things from 1950s, Britain you'll never see again, weren't just objects. They were part of the rhythm of daily life. They connected neighbors, defined routines, and built memories. Though long gone, their legacy lingers in stories, photographs, and the occasional whiff of coal smoke or echo of a handbell. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.